Presented by We and Microsoft. Welcome to We Youth Talks. Today's episode is Digital Citizenship and the Importance of Protecting Our Digital Society. In 1946, 72 years ago, the first digital computer was invented. The ENIAC took up 1,800 square feet, weighed 50 tons, and cost $6 million. In 1973, the first mobile phone prototype is debuted. It offered 30 minutes of talk time and took about 10 hours to recharge. Today, people across the world are connected at the touch of a button. Virtual reality and holograms are no longer science fiction stories. And it's just the beginning. Technology is advancing faster than ever before. Every 12 to 18 months, computers double their capacity. And so do the information technologies that use them. In 20 years, technology will be 4,000 times more advanced than today. Today, the physical and digital worlds are becoming more and more linked. But with the benefits that digital technology brings, there are real risks. Digital risks can have real-world consequences. Risks of hate, risks of exclusion, risks of cyber attacks. And if we do nothing, these risks could grow. Mindlessly consuming online content distracts from the real injustices in the world. Obsession with our image can prevent us from seeing the world around us and make us unable or uninterested to see how we can help. But if we can use digital technology as a tool for good, there's unlimited potential to combat hate, promote inclusion, and protect ourselves and others from digital and physical threats. Technology has limitless power and potential. So how can we use technology to create a safer and more equitable world? Welcome to We Youth Talks. And now, your host of We Youth Talks, Aaron Blanding.
Hashtag Youth Talks. Tweet. Oh, hi there. Welcome to everyone tuning in from your classroom, coming to ours from around the world. It's our 8th Youth Talks of the school year. Digital citizenship and the importance of protecting our digital society. Before we get started, as always, I want to acknowledge that here in Toronto at our We Global Learning Center, we are on the traditional territory of the Huron-Wendat, the Haudenosaunee, and the Mississauga of the New Credit First Nations. This territory was the subject of the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, an agreement between the Iroquois Confederacy and the Ojibwe and allied nations to peacefully share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. And I am so incredibly grateful to be here on this land to talk with all of you. And isn't technology amazing that I can actually do that? To think that 20 years ago, 2/3 of households didn't even have internet access, and now look at us. Shout out to Microsoft for this incredible Skype technology that's allowing us to broadcast across the world. We're being joined today globally by over 10,000 viewers from over 65 countries. That's amazing. Technology is remarkable. Today, most of us carry a device in our pockets that gives us almost instant access to all the world's information. And maybe some of us, like me, just use it to look at cute cat videos, but that's beside the point. The development of digital technology has allowed us to feel more connected than ever before. It's let us share and collaborate like no other time in history, and it's even made robots capable of doing things that only people could do before, like drive cars, or more impressively to me, make pizza. With these huge advancements in technology, we can now accomplish things faster than ever before. If I want something, I can click a button and get it the same day. No more having to wait in line to get my copy of the Goats and Trees wall calendar, you know what I'm saying? Or if I'm wondering what Lily Singh is up to, I can find out in real time. I see you, Superwoman. All types of institutions, including nonprofits like We Charity, governments, and hospitals, use technology to improve the service they provide, which can help our communities thrive as a whole. But with our increased reliance on technology comes some increased risks. Today, we're going to hear about some really great ways that we can protect ourselves against potential harm from being online. Plus, we're going to look at how to use some of the incredible technology right at our fingertips to help promote safe, inclusive, and positive spaces both on and offline. One of my favorite ways to stay connected with my friends is through social media. And even me, almost as old as a dinosaur, it's so easy for me to even keep up with what they're up to, and I absolutely love it. Well, except from Bill. Like one baby photo a day is enough, Bill. I don't need any more, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, social media can be really stressful sometimes. I'm curious to hear from all of you. What do you have to say about social media? So let's check out our anonymous Menti poll, the first one of the day. Head to menti.com and put the number in, 48 91 19, and answer the question. It's anonymous, so no one will know that your reply is from you. It's multiple choice, and you can click all the statements that apply to you. So while you're voting, let's talk about social media. It can sometimes feel like it's taking over our lives because there can be a lot of pressure to stay up to date so we're not missing out and even share what we're doing with our friends and followers online. Plus, if you're like me, it's just so easy to pick up your phone that's always there. So who among us can relate to that? Yeah, okay. I can see some of you are on your phones right now, and I'm on mine all the time. But when you're on social media, it's important to understand that you're only seeing a snippet of how people are really living when they post online, because things aren't always what they appear. So let's check back in with all of you and what you said about social media on the Menti poll. So some of your responses, 20% of you said you can tell how many times you check on social media every day. Some of you, 17%, have taken down posts because it didn't get enough likes or other responses. 13% of you have untagged yourselves or taken down a post because some of what someone said or commented. I know I've done that. 26% of you feel like you should only post something that is positive and make you look happy, which is great to talk about happy times in your life, but it's not the full piece of who we are. Clearly, social media can have some real drawbacks, but we also know it has the potential to be a super positive place, right? So what are some of those tips that we can use to make social media in a positive way? You can also head to that Menti poll and check it out and let me know the tips and tricks that you have in order to use social media in a positive way. One thing I try to do is I try not to check my phone when I'm speaking with people because I might send them the message that I don't value them, or it'll distract me from connecting with them truly. And I also always remind myself that the people I see online usually just post good news and their very best pictures. So it's probably not a good idea to compare my full, real, complicated life with those perfect images. But let's see what you folks wrote. Posting positive comments, shouting out your amazing friends, become a positivity influencer. I love that. What a great term. Post only things that will make people smile, share positive human stories of love and connection and community. Follow people that make you happy. These are amazing. Don't write mean things about each other. That's simple. These are amazing ideas, affirming other people online. What incredible insights. And post for yourself, not for others. Use it for business, or don't follow people who make you compare yourself to them. Wow, you're amazing. These are such good tips and tricks. I'm going to write them all down afterwards, and definitely write them down yourself so you can see and share them with your friends. Of course, we also know that sometimes people use technology with the intent to cause harm through cyberbullying. See, when we talk face-to-face, humans naturally use body language that encourages empathy so that we understand when the other person is feeling. When I see someone who's uncomfortable, I then feel the urge to make them uncomfortable. When I see that I've hurt someone's feelings, I'll feel bad and try to apologize and explain. Like, Joel, I know, don't take it personally. I'm sorry. I know I just was upset that you didn't really like my goats in the trees calendar, but I can see it made you upset, so I'm really sorry. Over social media or the internet, though, we don't always see those visual signals that we get. Some people forget or ignore that there's a real person with feelings behind that account. And let's face it, when bullying happens online, it's easier to make excuses than to address it. But I want to hear from you again. Imagine you're being cyberbullied. Unfortunately, many of us probably have been. How can someone help you out? Put your responses in the Menti poll. Imagine you're being cyberbullied. How can someone help you out? Do you ever catch yourself saying, gosh, it was just a joke, or that wouldn't bother me, so they can't really be that hurt? Sometimes if I see that no one else has said anything, I feel like I don't have to either. But of course, cyberbullying can have real consequences, and it's important that we recognize and act on it when we see it online. So I want to see some of your ideas around help with cyberbullying. So someone can help with cyberbullying by speaking up for me and speaking out. That's amazing, being able to speak out on behalf of someone else. Ask if you're okay. Say something positive, turn the negative into positive, disengage with the bully. You can tell them to go away and help your pals, reaching out and saying kind things. Printing the screen for evidence, that's a good one, and tell a close friend or a teacher. Talk to people until you understand that it's not true. Ask your parents for support. These are incredible ideas. They're all great. And next time you see someone being rude or hateful online, see if you can't be a positive presence in response. Earlier, we touched on how nonprofits and governments and hospitals are using technology for good, but it's also important to know that some of those systems can also be vulnerable to attacks. So you might be thinking, well, adults can probably solve those problems for us, right? Well, have you ever noticed how your parents can't figure out how to access Netflix? Or how your teachers can't set up their projector without you? And me, I'm still trying to figure out how to PVR the first season of Game of Thrones, and I've been trying that for so long. So for sure, we're gonna need your help. It's you who are the experts. It's your generation that has the most potential to utilize technology for good and be responsible digital citizens. And that's a beautiful thing about technology. More than something to fear or simply consume, it's something we can use to do good in the world, as long as we understand what an important issue it is, our role in it, and how we can help make change. Like, after the earthquake in Haiti, Twitter became a pivotal tool in fundraising efforts and raised millions of dollars in aid for that country. Innovations in technology have reduced healthcare costs and improved the quality of life for patients. And around the world, so many people have created safe online spaces to share stories and connect with one another. Today, we have some amazing special guests who will talk to us about how we can use technology safely and how we can take advantage of it to better ourselves, our communities, and the world. First up, we have my amazing friend, Saram, who is taking the social media world by a storm. Check her out.
Saram Tortamlu, also known as @SaramRap, is an Instagram influencer who is known for her love of fashion and capturing her daily lifestyle through beautiful photos. For the past 7 years, Saram has used her platform to influence viewers internationally and has a great understanding of social media platforms and digital media curation. She strives to have her own voice and pushes for inclusivity in online marketing. She aims to spread the message of staying true to oneself. Please help us in welcoming our friend, Saram Tortamlu.
Yay! Saram, welcome to your first Youth Talks. I'm so excited to have you on the show today.
Thanks, Erin. I'm so happy to be here.
I've been following your journey on social media. You're like my favorite Instagram personality. I've been following for so long, since I met you. So talk to me a little bit about this online presence. You have a massive following on Instagram. So tell me a little bit about it.
Thanks so much, Erin, for your kind words. But it's really funny. I never actually intended to get a lot of followers. It was my friend and I, when Instagram had first come out, we had a Tumblr page where we showcased like different types of fashion styles that weren't really mainstream. When Instagram came out, we decided to kind of bring it out there. So we really wanted to represent ourselves.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So for you, it was about fashion, but also a little bit about representation, right?
Totally.
Yeah. So having folks that look like you, it wasn't something that you really saw on Instagram before?
Not at all. Not like in mainstream media. So with social media platforms, it's awesome because you can kind of have your own voice and be able to be a role model for other people that may also relate to you.
That is so cool. I love it. And so what are some of the things that have come from having such a big online community? Because you have literally followers from all around the world, right?
Yeah, totally. I think it was one huge thing for me was being able to interact with people all around the world and not just within my community, to find people who enjoyed the same things that I did and kind of build a community online with people who lived so far away.
That's incredible. So do folks send you messages or other pictures or things like that?
Oh yeah, totally. With like the advancements Instagram has made with polls and chats and things like that, it's been a lot easier to kind of interact. As well as I think there's been a movement with a lot of brands online to include different influencers. So that's been some great opportunities that come from that as well.
That is so cool. So building a community that goes beyond the community where you grew up, which is so cool. It takes a lot of work though for you, from what I'm learning, to be so great on Instagram.
Totally.
And I asked you to bring a few photos with you today because it really though, this is quite a lot of effort that goes into some photos. So let's see if we can pop a photo up. So tell me a little bit about this photo. This is amazing. It's the CN Tower in Toronto. You look fabulous here.
Yeah.
Such a cool photo. Tell me about it.
Thanks, Erin. So I actually look like quite the daredevil sitting on the ledge here, but believe it or not, behind this, there was about 6 feet of like regular ground.
Oh, okay.
So it was totally safe. And if you can see the next photo, I actually photoshopped a building out of it.
Whoa, there's a building in there.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's a lot of work. Very cool. So, okay, so this photo looked a little bit different the first time you did it. Okay, so this next photo that we have here, I love this photo. It's so good. You got a cat. It just happened to show up right there.
I
in the
know.
photo.
It was. It looks like it just happened to show up, but really, I almost got attacked by the cat, as you can see in the next photo.
No.
It's quite terrifying.
Look at that. So really, this is what really happened with this
That's
cat.
behind the scenes, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Behind the scenes on
Not
that
the
one.
friendliest.
Okay, and then this one. This is such a cool shot. Where are you here?
Oh my gosh, this was in Izmir, Turkey, and this clock tower is actually like a huge tourist attraction.
Cool.
So there was actually so many people walking by, and my friend was getting really annoyed with me because I kept on having her to retake the photos with all the people constantly walking by. I was like, no, I need one without people.
Yes,
my
you
Photoshop
do.
skills are not that great. So
That's amazing. So you must have some pretty incredible friends who are helping you out to do this all the time. Because you have to take a lot of photos, right?
Yeah, totally.
That's so cool. Well, these are just amazing and showing sort of the effort that goes behind it. But one of the things we're talking about today, which I know you have some experiences in, have you ever experienced sort of harsh feedback or folks that have sort of attacked you for having this large online personality?
Totally. I've had people attack me a lot based on my appearance. I guess that's kind of like the only thing that you really see. So I've had people comment on my weight, the way that I dress, and speak really negatively. In the beginning, it really bothered me a lot.
Yeah.
But I've kind of learned different ways to be able to deal with that.
Yeah, and so what are some of those ways that you if other folks are seeing that happen, what are some of the things that you've learned how to do to sort of protect yourself and to also protect the energy because that doesn't feel great. So what are some of the things that you do?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, Erin, I've learned to kind of limit what I share online in terms of like how personal something is. And with experience, I've learned there's two ways to kind of deal with cyberbullies. Like one is you can directly engage with them by commenting back and kind of elevating the situation, or the other way would be indirectly, which is reporting, flagging, speaking to somebody that you trust. And I find that way works a lot more effectively.
That's great. And you also were talking about sometimes you just take a social media break, right?
Yeah, totally. Sometimes you just need to turn it off and you're just like, I need to kind of like focus on my mental health right now and come back when I'm ready.
Yeah, that's so good that you have agency, you have choice in doing that. It's so important, especially with folks who are not necessarily posting nice things or actually being kind of harsh. And thank you so much for sharing a bit. stick around because I want to talk a little bit more to you. But
Totally.
our next guest, at just 14 years old, is actually an expert in cyberbullying and some of those things Saram was talking about. I'm so stoked to invite on our next Youth Talks amazing guest to the stage, Charlotte Moran. Check it out.
14-year-old Charlotte Lindsay Marin is the creator of an anti-bullying multimedia company that promotes self-esteem building for elementary school-aged girls. Charlotte is also a professional actor and part of the Meet-A-Wee Incubation Hub. Charlotte loves math and science, improv, business and social change, and cross-country running. It is her mission to help girls and build a community that she wishes she had when she went through bullying in elementary school. She has told her story about bullying on Bully Fighters, directed by Nikki Ormerod. Please help us in welcoming our friend, Charlotte Lindsay Marin.
Yay, Charlotte, welcome to you for your first Youth Talks as well. This is so great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
This is so great. So actually, I'm incredibly impressed with Girl Days and what you've been able to do. You started an amazing movement. But talk to me a little bit about the backstory. Tell us all about how Girl Days got started.
Right. So when I was in grade 3, I was bullied because I befriended a girl with special needs.
Okay.
And it was very hard because I lost a lot of my friends, or the people that I thought were my friends, because I was then seen as kind of like a weird girl too. Moving into grade 4, my friend wasn't in my class anymore, and so I was very alone. But rather than kind of finding a good way to express that, I kind of turned mean. And I wanted to be popular, and I didn't do well at school, and it was very tough. But moving into grade 5, I had an amazing teacher who kind of taught me to be myself, and that a lot of bad things will happen, but I need to just do what I think is right and to be kind.
Wow, that's amazing. And thank you so much for being honest and sharing
Sure.
that part of the story too, because that transition from, being bullied then to wanting to be popular, that happens to a lot of girls in particular. So tell me a little bit about then Girl Days and this amazing platform that you've been able to create and the movement behind it.
Right. So from my teacher, I decided that I wanted to do something, and because I knew both sides, like being popular and being mean, and also being kind of like bullied myself, I decided to make YouTube videos in my room.
Cool.
So I made videos parroting girl culture to like make kind of like a light through it, and also help young girls who were dealing with the same issues as I was. And from there, we got a grant from the Ministry of Education, and we just kept growing, and we kept meeting people, and it's been amazing.
That is so cool. And I've taken some of your quizzes on the website and stuff too. You've got a bunch of resources and other things coming out too, right?
Yes, so we have games, and we're still developing them, but we also have some products like books and dolls and things that we want to expand to, and there's so much. But more, we just want to be able to help young girls before they get to the age of cyberbullying and like more severe bullying in the schools, to help them kind of navigate through that and hopefully prevent future issues.
Oh, that is so cool. It's amazing. And what's been the response from the community? Have people been reaching out? What are people thinking about this platform?
We have gotten so many amazing responses, and people are sharing their stories and their own artwork and poems, and it's just amazing to see that people are coming forth with that. And we've also actually talked to people who went to the same school as I did, who are kind of saying that Girl Days is amazing to have come from those experiences, and how
that is so cool to have an impact not only on a larger community, but to be able to go back to some of the folks originally that were a part of it. That's so cool. Congratulations. And we love it. We can't wait for this platform to grow. So I want to play, before you both go, I want to play a little bit of a game because social media savvy. So we've got so these are fun signs. On one side, you'll see it says me. On the other side, it says not me. Okay, so these nifty little signs, you're going to hold it up. I'm going to make a statement. You hold it up if it's me or not me. Okay? Cool. So statement number 1. Okay, put up your sign. I'm wondering who consistently relies on one emoji. Go. Yeah. Okay. What's your emoji of choice?
I like to use the little smiley face emoji that's kind of like blushing, because it kind of makes like my emails and messages seem like more fun and not
That's
so
a
direct.
good one. I love that. Saram, what about you?
I love the laugh cry emoji. I
laugh
feel like it just lightens everything up.
That's so good. Okay. Next question. Who has used digital technology to spread awareness about something you're passionate about? Okay, and what have you done, Charlotte?
So I have tried to do girl days, but then also I've tried to just reach out to people, and if I see something negative, then I'll try and comfort them online and just whatever I can do.
That's amazing. Saram, what about you?
When I was in university, before Instagram days, long back when, I actually used Facebook to raise money for water projects, and I climbed around the edge of the CN Tower. Like I walked around the edge.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Amazing. What great initiatives. Okay, so who of you has experienced that moment, you know, when you're watching Netflix for like a long period of time and then Netflix asks you if you're still there? Have you had that happen? Yeah. Yes, totally. I don't understand. I've been watching it and they ask if I'm still there. Of course I'm still here. Okay, what is your Netflix guilty pleasure right now? Tell me.
I like to watch RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes, RuPaul's Drag Race. And what
I used to watch that with my mom.
So great.
But like right now, it's kind of embarrassing, but I've binge watched Dynasty.
Okay, all right, I'm feeling it. Okay, so we're going to be talking a little bit with some experts on digital peace and safety. Who has had their identity stolen online? Not you, Charlotte.
I haven't, but
Good.
I've heard stories about it.
Yeah, it's so scary, right? But Saram, you have.
Yeah, I've had someone pose as me on Instagram with a similar username and the same profile photo, and actually have private conversations with people that I knew, and made plans to meet up with them. And having that experience really made me think critically about cybersecurity.
That's incredible. I'm so glad everything turned out okay. But yeah, it's incredible. And we're going to be talking to some folks as well about that. So it's really good. Okay, next question. Who of you has bought something online and then immediately regretted it? Oh, not you. Good job. That's sweet. Yeah, it's around.
It'll happen. You're still young.
Okay. That's awesome. Okay. And who has tried to align your passions and activism online with your actions in everyday life? Awesome. Charlotte, what do you do?
Right. So online, I try and just create a community. And in my everyday life, I try and do what I can as well. Mm-hmm. I know that I've done days where I don't speak and I wear like necklaces and signs saying that I'm doing this to kind of learn what it's like to not have a voice.
Wow.
And some of my friends and peers will join in. And also I created prosthetic hands with 3D printers to soft. And I was on a local talk show talking about it.
Very cool.
So just
You're
whatever
remarkable.
I can to
That's so
add to the
cool.
community.
Yeah, add to the community both online and off, which is so incredible. And you're only 14, Charlotte. Thank you so much for that beautiful work. Saram, what about you?
Well, other than kind of fundraising online, I've also spoke a lot about movements that I'm passionate about, like Black Lives Matter, and I've gone to protests as well. But really, I guess, trying to expand my knowledge beyond just using social media, but actually reading books, speaking to people who these issues affect, things like that.
That's so great. I'm so grateful for both of you for not only coming on the show, but also showing us all what's possible to use an online presence for such positivity and good, but to also be really conscious about how you're using it. Thank you. We're going to follow your journey so much. Saram's handle, Saram Rap. You can check her out on Instagram, and girldays.com. So days with a Z or Z. And you can check out some of Charlotte's work. So thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
It's been a pleasure.
So great. And we're having so much fun through all of this. It's great to hear the insights around the potential emotional benefits and the risks from being online. And we've heard from real leaders in this position in the online space, and they've been trying to use their positive influence in these ways. But now we're going to hear from some experts, like we said, in digital citizenship and safety. Because it's important for us to realize that folks, even on a personal level, like cyberbullies, can actually do more harm when they decide to aim their trolling at groups, organizations, or even whole countries and systems. Our technology infrastructure relies on people being good digital citizens. But when online haters escalate their behavior on the web, it can actually impact thousands or millions of people. So next up, I'm really excited to get to hear again from Simona Ramkisson, one of our regular guests on the show. Simona is the manager of community development with the Wikimedia Foundation and the chair of Digital Justice Lab Steering Committee. Now, Simona couldn't actually be here in person, but thankfully, my good friend Tom got to catch up with her just last night and ask her a few questions around some of these concepts. So let's check it out.
All right, thanks, Erin. So we're here with Simona. Now, Simona, I've heard that you're really interested in this idea of digital citizenship. Is that right?
Yes.
So can you tell me and tell the folks at home, what does digital citizenship mean?
Digital citizenship really means a set of norms, practices, and policies on how you engage with digital spaces and technology. It falls under this larger umbrella called digital literacy, which tries to tell people and teach people how to engage with all technology and critically think with the technologies that they use and the platforms that they access.
Cool. So, like, when did you get started to get interested in this subject?
I've always been, I was that kid that was really interested in computers and was really excited when we finally got the internet in my house. And I'm always kind of tinkering and hacking on, new technology, new tools, new platforms, and just kind of really always digging the impacts and opportunities that the internet itself poses for people.
Right. And you were telling me earlier it was kind of related to like this idea of safety, right?
Yeah.
And how our digital citizenship is related to safety. So could you tell me what's one of the most common mistakes that you see people make on the internet?
Yeah, I think it's really surprising that in 2018, people are still putting their, phone numbers and addresses on their social media accounts. They don't use a PIN code when they're accessing their phone. They just use their thumbprint, which can be easily duplicated.
Right.
I think we're still kind of falling back on, well, it's so easy if we do it this way. Like, why would we try to change it?
Yeah, I feel like I do all those things. So if my data is out there, like what's the risk to me, or how is my data used?
Your data can be used a multiple of different ways, and you have to kind of figure out how comfortable are you with your data out in the ecosystem. So if you really don't care that websites and platforms and apps are monitoring how long you use those platforms, what are you doing when you get there? Do you buy anything? So that they can create algorithms that target you when it comes to marketing, and you feel, well, that's not a big deal, no big whoop. But if you are someone who works with highly sensitive information, or if you're a young person, your information can be easily collected because we consent to these sites kind of using our information, so we can use their products. If you really are a bit more aware of kind of what you want or how you want to exist online, privacy and security becomes a bit more important to you. People can literally take the photos on your Instagram account and enter it into an algorithm and figure out where you live based on places that you've tagged or just even the images that you upload.
Whoa. Okay, so it sounds like it depends on what your values are and what you want to get out of it. But what you're saying is making me feel like I do want to be a bit more careful about what's out there. So are you saying I kind of need to actually, if I update something, I actually need to read all those terms and conditions, those like 80 pages of things?
So as someone who's had to read those terms and conditions for work on so many different occasions, the one thing I can really tell you is that they're designed to be confusing.
Right.
They're designed to be a bit overwhelming. They are designed to kind of make you not want to read them. And what you find when you actually do dig into it, and if you have the knowledge to kind of process it, what it's telling you is that by you consenting to using our tool, just by you existing on it, you consent for us to not only take your IP address, the address that allows you to access the internet, which can help them find your location. You let them know, what emails you use when you access them. They can download cookies to your own laptop so they can track you every time you come back.
Right. Okay, Simona, you got me thinking a lot. And I want to know, what can I do? What can people do if they want to protect themselves?
And I don't want you to feel scared because you're looking a little panicked. I want you to take a deep breath. But what we can do is actually just have better conversations around privacy and security, have better conversations with each other on how we want to engage online, and also be aware that some platforms are not designed for the total safety of their user. I want you to have conversations with the people you work with on kind of the tools that you use. Is it necessary that we use this over another one? This resource tracks all of our information. information. This resource doesn't. If you're a young person, I want you to actually think about, what do you want? How do you want to be presented online? And with that comes certain responsibilities. I want everybody in the world to have two-factor authentication on their phones for their emails, because it is so easy to hack someone's email, get access to all of their information, as well as their banking information, to their social media accounts. And it takes a really long time and could take a toll to actually get all that stuff back. Two-factor authentication is a simple process that just puts another line of protection when you're accessing the things that you truly love using and doing online.
Right. It's so easy for me to click the remind me later button whenever they suggest those kind of things.
It's easy to become really complacent because people always think that technology is either really hard to understand or that it's supposed to be very easy, so we don't need to actually practice better privacy and security. But that's actually not the truth. You can't get really complacent because the only thing that really has ever changed the way I do things online is when something really bad happened to me online, when an email was hacked and I couldn't get back into it, and it was a work email, so they also had access to very sensitive information on the work that I was doing. You can definitely believe that all of my accounts are protected. Everything about my digital identity is pretty protected. And I advocate that to everybody I meet, that it's super simple if you just take the extra 10 minutes to set it all up.
Right. Okay. So two-factor authentication. Thank you.
You got it.
Thinking about what platforms we're using and how they might be protecting our privacy or not. Is there any other steps or tips?
Yeah, and just being open to the conversations, and don't be scared. You not using a platform doesn't make it any less safe. You speaking up and saying that you want this platform to be safer is kind of the way things change.
Right.
So if you tell Instagram that you want a safer platform, and you get other people to tell them as well, you as a user have a lot of power to actually change the way things are built or the things that you use and how they affect you.
Right. So being an advocate for this kind of stuff.
And being an advocate for your community as well with this. Tell people as you learn new privacy and security practices, encourage them to also adopt the same, or just think more critically about the way they use these spaces.
Wow. Thank you so much, Simona, for all your great insights. Really appreciate you being here.
Thanks so much, Tom.
Thank you. Back to you, Aaron.
Wow, it's so great to hear such good advice from Simona about how to be safe when navigating the online world. And now, I am so excited to invite our final guest on for the day, who's coming to us live all the way from South Africa, a global expert in digital peace, Jamal Edwards. Check it out.
Jamal Edwards is the global advocate for digital peace and a member of the digital diplomacy team at Microsoft. His work focuses on advocating for a more secure cyberspace and managing programmatic initiatives like the Digital Peace Now campaign. Prior to joining Microsoft, Jamal worked with United Nations, MTV, and the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. He received his bachelor's degree from Duke University and attended graduate school at Stanford University. He served the board of trustees at both institutions. Please help us in welcoming our friend Jamal Edwards.